Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Kia Oval for the Sustainability 20 double-header. Up first, we have Surrey Women taking on Essex Women. Surrey Women, well, they're going really well at the moment this season. They've played 8, they've won 7, and they've lost just 1 of their matches. For Essex, they sit down in 6th in the table, played 9 and won just 3 of them. So they're looking to try and fight back and get a win on the board against Surrey in their own backyard. I'm Georgie Heath and I'm joined by the wonderful Kirstie White this afternoon. Kirstie, a mouth-watering match-up here for our Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, big game today. Surrey making a few debuts with some academy graduates and some new signings this season, so it'll be interesting to see how they go today. Not by all means their full-strength squad, so could be a really interesting game today. Potentially a bit of rain around. Could have been a good toss for Eva Gray to win.
Yeah, there's a lot of grey overhead, but it's about what you can do down in the middle, of course. And for Surrey, they are riding high. They've had a good season so far, and they'll be looking to continue that on home soil at the Kia Oval. There's a few rolling into the crowd as well. I saw a few when I arrived today. Actually, for this Sustainability 20, which I'm going to get my mouth around, did decide I would arrive on Line Bike today. So I promised Surtees that that's what I would do, and that's what I did. So trying to keep on top of my own sustainability and get on the bike and get the cycling like the England men the other week when they had to combat the traffic. So, well, let's have a look and head on downstairs to see who's going to be having a bat or a bowl first.
Well, I'm out in the middle ahead of today's toss. We've got the umpires Neil Bainton and Gabby Brown, match referee Peter Such, the 2 captains from Essex, Eva Gray, and of course from Surrey, Bryony Smith, and a very special guest, Callum, our match mascot, who I think has the coin to give to Bryony. Bryony's going to flip the coin and Eva will call. Tails is the call. It is a tails. Eva has won the toss. What are you going to do?
We're going to have a bowl, please.
You know this ground very well, having played for the Invincibles here for a number of years. Always good to be here?
Yeah, always good to come back. Got some good memories here, but yeah, kind of looking forward to getting going with the girls.
Overhead conditions a factor in your choice to bowl first?
Yeah, and a little bit of rain around as well. Kind of got on the wrong side of that yesterday, so hopefully go a bit better today.
Talking of yesterday, a long trip up to Lancashire and then back down again. How's everyone pulled up after that?
Yeah, very well. Obviously only got the 8 overs in, so yeah, kind of a lot of travelling, but yeah, nice restful night and good to go today.
And how are you enjoying standing in as captain?
Yeah, really enjoying it. It's obviously we're missing Grace and Jodie, but yeah, good opportunity for me to step up and lead the girls, and yeah, enjoying it.
And any changes from yesterday?
No changes.
Lovely stuff. Thank you, Eva. Go well. Bryony, you've lost the toss. Again, exactly. What would you have done if you had won the toss?
We were looking to have a bowl, but we know it's going to be a good pitch all day, so we're not too bothered.
Obviously, a bit of a break. I was speaking to Phoebe earlier, and it sounds like people got well recovered, but it does mean a lot of changes for you, which is great because so many of them are being picked for England in England A, but a really different look to the squad. How have you prepared for that?
We knew this was going to happen. We talked about it a lot during the winter that everyone in the squad's going to be needed. So yeah, we are missing 8 players from our last game, but we've still got a very strong side today. Just
tell us a little bit about Essex, what you're expecting from them.
We always have a good battle, obviously sort of southern rivals, but yeah, we know they're going to come out hard, especially they only had a shortened game yesterday.
And then finally, I heard some whooping and some cheering before the game, which suggests maybe we've got some debutants. I won't ask you to name all the changes, but if you could just tell us if we've got any new faces in the squad, in the team, I should say.
Yeah, we got 2 debuts today, so we got Rachel King and Surrey Academy's Emily Burke.
Lovely stuff. Well, congratulations to them. Go well today, Bryony. So there we go. The result from the toss today is that Essex have won the toss. They're going to have a bowl. Delighted to be joined by Phoebe Franklin, who obviously was one of the stars of the last Surrey Blast game against Durham. That feels like a long time ago now, Phoebe. But what have you been up to in the break?
Had some nice time off. I've had a couple of spa days and the girls have been well rested, so we're ready to go for the next half of the Blast.
Yeah, in a really good position as a team with 5 games to go. Feeling optimistic about being back here for the finals day?
Yeah, we obviously know finals day will be here. It'll be nice to get there and have a home crowd. So we're going to do our best in the next few games to secure our place there.
The squad looks very different from the previous block, which I guess is a great credit to the side with how many players are called up for England and England A. But I wonder just what the conversations have been like in the build-up to this second block about adapting to the loss of so many senior players.
Yeah, again, it's so good that so many of our players have gone for England and England A, but our squad is so strong all the way through. So we definitely back each other. We've trained with each other all through winter. So for some of the girls, it will be their first opportunity to play for Surrey professionally. So definitely back them and just give it all we can.
You're pretty experienced, whoever's in the side, but obviously when you lose so many experienced players like that, does that change your role as a sort of leader in the team? Do you become more of a leader?
Yeah, definitely. I become a little bit more of a leader. Definitely in the field and stuff, I will help Bryony and stuff like that. But I think the girls are quite self-sufficient, so I think we can get the job done when needed.
Talking of roles, with the ball specifically, is that something that's very clearly identified before matches about who is there to do what? I mean, your economy rate is the best in the squad, and the wickets haven't quite come as you'd have liked until Durham, and long may that continue. But is that part of those roles that you're assigned?
Yeah, it's very clear on where we want people to bowl and which phase you'll be bowling in. So a lot of the training is very specific to that. So the girls are very clear with their plans and confident to go into the matches and do that.
Without giving too much away, what about your specific role?
I'm just ready to bowl whenever I'm needed. And again, with the bat, I'm in the middle order, but can also come in whenever I'm needed as well.
And a quick look to today's game against Essex, who probably are now in must-win territory if they're going to get to finals day. So I guess that gives them a bit of extra motivation. You'll be wary of their threat.
Yeah, definitely. They're a pretty good squad on paper and haven't lost that many people to England or England A. So they're quite a steady group. But yeah, definitely think we can definitely back ourselves to win this one.
So the two Surrey openers just striding out to the middle. Obviously, captain Bryony Smith there. She's, well, in flying form, as always, at the top of the order. And she is a stalwart of this Surrey side. Essex there coming together. They coming off the back of a difficult game just yesterday. Rain-affected loss to Lancashire, but they really did slip to 47 for 7. I think they finished that game yesterday. So they've got to sort of flush that one out, come back fighting today. And, well, I think when you're a team that's feeling a little down and out, then arriving at the Kia Oval to take on Surrey is quite a difficult prospect.
Yeah, I think the only saving grace for them will probably be that they are missing their top 4 in terms of England internationals and a slightly different looking Surrey squad today. So this will be a good opportunity for Eva Gray, who is formerly of Surrey and homegrown Surrey talent, to captain her side and see what this Essex team can do on a day that could potentially be weather affected again. So hoping not to fall into the same trap as they did yesterday and be on the wrong side of a DLS result.
Yeah, that DLS can cause serious problems. So Bryony Smith just going through the last of her motions there before we get things underway here. We've got a slip in play straight up. I like this sort of attacking field.
Yeah, Katie Kopak has bowled quite a few times here at the Kia Oval. She's bowled for Middlesex last season and taken a fair few wickets. She seems to bowl really, really well here. She has that natural away swing and also gets a little bit of movement off the seam. So that nick off is definitely in play for her.
Right, here she comes now. Bryony Smith facing up for the first ball. Oh, and it's put down. Smith goes aerial and it's put down at short mid-wicket. Very first delivery. That should have stuck, really. Shakes her head, but that was so nearly the end of Bryony Smith's first ball. You okay there, Kirstie?
Hand over mouth there. That would have been an absolute dream start for Essex. Not the best delivery for Kopak straight up, but just not quite middling that there, Bryony Smith. First delivery in a Surrey shirt on debut here for Rachel King. Sure, there's a few nerves. Wanted to get off the mark quickly here.
And nicely played. Can't get it through. Obviously, just 2 out during the power play. At the moment, one are down at deep third and out at deep square leg.
I'm a little surprised that Kira Chatley's not opening the batting here today. So King being given the opportunity to open, Chatley being held back. So Johan Myberg clearly has a strong plan in place.
This is a really good start with the ball from Kopak. Almost had a wicket with her very first delivery. This time, just a little sloppy in the field from Essex. They'll scamper through and add one to the total.
Yeah, 2 watchful deliveries there from King. I think she might have been a little bit lucky there, just stepping across the line, just trying to feel bat on ball. I haven't seen too much of Rachel King play, so I'm not entirely sure what her scoring zones are.
So third now comes up inside the ring for Bryony Smith, and deep cover goes out. Again, just can't quite time it, finds that bottom edge.
Good start here from Kopak. It seems a little bit slow these first few deliveries. That's not come on quite as quickly as Bryony Smith would have hoped. Got through the shot a bit early.
And if there's anyone who's familiar with the wickets here at the Kia Oval, it is Bryony Smith. That's more like it from Smith. She's going to pick up the first boundary of the day, smoke through the covers. Vintage Bryony Smith.
That'll feel nice. Driven beautifully through extra cover. Cordelia Griffiths on cover boundary. Couldn't quite cut it off. First boundary on the board for Surrey.
Just eases that pressure of what had been a very tidy first over from Kopak. And this time goes fine, 2 fine down past fine leg, and 2 boundaries to end the over. So it brings the first over to a close in the end. 10 runs coming from it. Bryony Smith moves on to 9.
Yeah, that's an over of 2 stories there. The first 3 balls definitely won by Essex. That opportunity of the first delivery. Tentative LBW shout from the third, and then 2 boundaries to finish the over.
Yeah, it's a very different looking 11 today, isn't it, Kirstie?
Very different looking 11, very, very different.
You see, I mean, it's great to have so many players that get called up to England duty and England A duty, but then when it comes to days like today, you think, right, they're all off out doing their business in red and blue colours. Who's coming in the pale blue? But that's why, I guess, having such a strong academy system coming through really gives those players the opportunity to step up on the day.
Yeah, they have a very deep squad here, 20 contracted players for Surrey, so it's a bit of a pick-a-mix, really.
Well, here comes Esme McGregor, a little bit of away movement, and does well to get the bat to that one. King, she's going to pick up her first runs in Surrey colours, and it's a boundary. So she's up and running now, and she gets the fist pump from Bryony Smith.
Yeah, nice way to get off the mark in your professional debut. Esme McGregor's been super effective for Essex, but offering a little bit too much width, searching for swing first up. Let's see how she adjusts her line for the next delivery.
Has a push at this one, just beats the outside edge, and that's really good comeback from McGregor.
Yeah, Esme McGregor's had a really great start to the first half of the Vitality Blast. She was up in the MVP rankings.
Yeah, she's leading wicket taker at the moment with 18 across 9 innings.
She seems to really trouble batters.
I think what's impressive as well is that, you know, she can get hit for 4 very first delivery, but just flush it, get rid of it, comes back in 2 really nice deliveries.
Yeah, definitely. She's got a really interesting wrist position. When she lets go of the ball, she doesn't really cock her wrist and like most traditional seamers do. It almost floats out of the hand, which offers that little bit of a wobble in the air at the same time as swinging.
Finds the outside edge, and it's a sort of half stop at backward point. Having a flay at it, Jo Gardner out there does the cleaning up. A lot of these players playing for Essex this year were part of that Sunrisers setup as well, so they do all know each other pretty well. Obviously, Jo Gardner was part of that, and that was a team that really struggled early on in the days of the Rachel Hayhoe Flint Charlotte Edwards Cup, and then came out with a victory at the very end of it. So showing that you you could come through and rise up, and that, I think that's what Essex need to start trying to do. That's a lovely looking drive from Bryony Smith, and again, really well fielded.
Yeah, they're certainly a side that is full of potential, and it's more a case of really enabling each individual player to meet their potential. You've got the likes of Cordelia Griffiths, who on her day can absolutely destroy bowling attacks. The same with Jo Gardner. She's so powerful with the bat and offers something a little bit different with the ball. Eva Gray, with the ball in hand, can tear through top orders.
That's well weighted again.
And it always seems to be, particularly in the Sunrisers era, that there may have been one or two players that would have a good day, but the rest of the squad didn't always make the contributions that they could have. But on the days that they did, they were unstoppable. They absolutely tore apart the Vipers. You know, they won the Rachel Hare Flint Trophy final. So they've certainly got a lot of potential.
Yeah, 2 overs gone now, 16 for none. Surrey after being put into bat, and then also they've got Grace Scrivens as part of their setup, obviously not here today. They've got Maddie Penner come over from Australia, and then they've got the likes of Sophia Smale, who's someone who really stood out in the 100 in the last few years. You know, one of the youngsters coming through, and that's something the 100 has obviously done so well. Here at Surrey, the one springs to mind so early on is someone like Alice Capsey, obviously, who really shone in that first year of the 100. And then they've got Lauren Winfield Hill as well on loan from Yorkshire. So they've got the talent in there, the youth, the experience, and it's just about bringing it together in that melting pot. And here is Maddie Penner, just flights that first delivery. We were saying this before we came on air, weren't we? There's a lot of Aussies have seemed to come on over this summer. Maybe they heard we were having a glorious summer of it. Today, perhaps not quite the weather for it. But I think when this new tournament was, when the women's was brought into this format of the tournament alongside the men's, that's the kind of thing that the ECB would have been looking at.
Yeah, and I think, the Aussies are coming in and getting used to these English conditions in a highly competitive environment now.
Just be one more to the total there from Bryony Smith,
where they can really get themselves prepared for the 100. So obviously all of these games playing at most of the 100 venues as well, so they can adapt to conditions. They can really understand how these pitches play and play against some of these really talented English players that will no doubt be featured in these 100 sides as well. It's a win-win if you're an Australian overseas.
Again, just that little bit of extra flight from Maddie Penner, squirted away by King.
It's a fairly quiet start here from Surrey by their standards. Just the 2 boundaries so far. 3 boundaries, apologies, 3 boundaries so far.
Again, good use of the feet from Bryony Smith, but bowling to her field here is Penner, not able to get her away at the moment. Just the 2 runs off the over so far with the Australian bowling, and it's now about just having that tidy out, isn't it? Don't take the pressure off by giving away a boundary ball.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm sure that would be something that Essex have discussed in the build-up to really try and contain Surrey in this power play.
Yeah, great over this from Maddie Penner. 3 runs coming from it. And that's the kind of thing you want early on. Started to be a little expensive, back-to-back boundaries in the first over, but we've slowed things down now. 3 gone, 19 for none.
Yeah, a healthy run rate-ish, around 6.33, but the first half of the competition we were seeing run rates and totals averaging around between 8 and 10 runs and over, particularly in the power play. So I think if you're looking down the lineup and the Surrey batting to come, there is still lots of power hitting there, but I think capitalising in the power play and setting the platform is going to be really important. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit more expansion here from Bryony Smith.
So Kate Koppak switches to the Vauxhall end, went for 9 from her first over. Just bringing that fielder at third slightly finer. It's Abtaha Maksud there in the floppy hat. Yeah, full this time, right on the toes of Smith, and all she has to do is get a little bat on it to push it away.
Yeah, every single and every dot here is going to be pivotal for how Essex can continue to attack this Surrey lineup, and it's just going to build pressure on the batter at the striker's end.
Again, just can't get it away. And this has been really tidy now from Essex, this comeback. We saw there was obviously the England-India women's game the other night, and Surrey stars Danny Wyatt and Sophia Dunkley went all guns blazing in the power play, and we saw just how when you take it on, even when wickets tumble later on, having had that strong power play can prove so important down the line.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it gives your incoming batters a real boost as well. Really good lines here from Kopak, just cramping the batters and not giving them any room or any width at all. Full straight at the toes.
Obviously, we've got firepower coming in down the line as well, the likes of Grace Harris, of course. Kira Chatley can hit a big ball when she feels like it. Alice Davison-Richards has been in some good form as well, so there really is batting to come. Yeah, a little bit too much width and really well stopped again. Just struggling to pierce this infield during the power play.
That's a fantastic stop at backward point, because that has absolutely come out of the screws from Rachel King. Diving stop, I think it's Esme McGregor actually at backward point. Seemed to almost just hit her.
Just get something in the way.
Yeah, we talk about bodies on the line and that's it.
That's what I have to do when I attempt to wicket keep. That has been absolutely smoked by Bryony Smith. A diving effort at extra cover, but so much power on it. The noise as it came off the bat.
Yeah, and that's a good release. That just loosen the valve a little bit for Surrey. Just goes to show how important those boundaries are. They'd only scored 2 from the over so far, and now they're up to 6.
Bryony Smith having a bit of a boogie out there in the middle. Enjoying a bit of party rock. I think that's the song.
I think you're right, yeah.
I'm more of a Westlife gal these days. Show my age. Big swing at this one. She's found an edge. And that is the breakthrough. Kopak makes the breakthrough. She gets smacked for a boundary. Bryony Smith tries to go again. And this time it flies through to Lauren Winfield-Hill, who makes no mistake behind the stumps. And the Surrey captain is on her way.
Yeah, that's an excellent line of length from Kate Kopak there. Just hammering. She's just being consistent, just trying to hit that length. Bryony Smith has just tried to send that over the top of the JM Finn stand, and unfortunately feathers an edge to Lauren Winfield-Hill, who makes no mistake in gathering nicely. Just holds a little bit in the surface. Lost a bit of shape. That hip's come through, and unfortunately that's the end of Bryony Smith's innings for the day.
It looked like she meant business, didn't she, Bryony Smith, that previous boundary. So it brings Alice Monaghan out to bat at 3. I'm not sure I would have expected her to come out this early on in the innings. How about you?
No, but the last time I saw Alice Monaghan bat here at the Kia Oval was for the Vipers, when she came in at the back end of that T20 and absolutely destroyed Phoebe Franklin's penultimate over. And I think she came in and scored a very quick 30-odd, maybe 40-odd, in around 18 deliveries. So been out of the side for a while with a broken thumb.
I think there's a couple of screws in there or something. I feel like I went on social media, woke up and thought, oh, it's not what I needed to see, the X-ray of the screws in your thumb. So Eva Gray has been handed the ball. Her first delivery is just being squirted away this by King, and a really good effort to cut it off.
Yeah, Eva Gray, very good friend of mine, but this isn't me being biased, but I think she's definitely one of the best seamers in the country. She's really, really difficult to get away. Her change-ups are really hard to pick, and she can just hit a line and length that will just have you doubting.
Yeah, good running from these two, just scampering through, putting the pressure on the throat.
She's a very intelligent bowler as well. She understands the game really well. She has a very clear plan in her mind of how she's going to get each batter out. Happy to see her in a leadership role today, captaining the team. I think she's got some excellent ideas to contribute to the Essex team as well. I think she forms a strong part of their leadership team.
Just a little bit of indecision between the two batters on whether to go through and run or not, but wisely don't decide to take on Sophia Smale there at extra cover.
Yeah, and one thing that she does really well is she hits high up on the bat. So it's really hard to find the middle when you're batting against Eva Gray, because she can just hit above the middle and around the splice.
So Alice Monaghan up and running with her first run of the day.
Anyone tuning into the live stream now and looking at our scorecard, the Surrey scorecard, and thinking, oh, they're 29 for 1, but who are Monaghan and who are Rachel King? Where's Sophia Dunkley and Alice Capsey and Paige Schofield?
It's a big swing, finds the edge, the tickle again. This time flies through to Lauren Winfield-Hill, who again makes no mistake. Eva Gray just with that probing line and length, a little bit of extra height, and it means that both openers are now on their way back in. So two fresh batters coming out to the middle. A great start this has been for Essex after winning the toss and deciding to have a bowl first.
Yeah, and that is just what Eva Gray can do, which brings Kira Chatley to the crease, just looking from back here, those distinctive pads. Makes herself a little bit of room outside leg, just trying to access that extra cover boundary. Gives herself maybe a little bit too much room and tickles through to Lauren Winfield-Hill.
Well, brings Kira Chatley out to the middle. We thought we'd be seeing her around 3 or 4, and she does come out here, and we know she can hit a big ball. I saw her at the T20 Women's County Cup finals day, and she did get into a little bit of a to-do with Kate Cross as well. Smacked her back over her head, and in the end, she was sent on her way, and sent on her way.
Certainly sent on her way.
We know she can find the boundary when she needs to. All right, final delivery of this over. Just can't get it past backward point. So a dot to finish off the over. 4 runs and the wicket coming from it. 5 gone. Surrey 29 for 2.
Yeah, I always think if you're rewarded with a send-off from the bowler, it means you've done your job well.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you've got in their head. I mean, yes, they have sent you on the way, so they do have the last laugh, but you've got to have done something before that.
At what cost? Yeah.
So 2 wickets to go down, both caught behind. Bryony Smith trying to have a big swing across the line, having hit a boundary the previous ball. And again, just trying to push it back past the bowler was Rachel King, and she again on her way.
Yeah, both batters just, it seems that there's maybe not too much pace in this wicket and just trying to over-generate power, maybe trying to over-hit here. These overcast conditions allowing a little bit of movement in the air for the ball as well.
There's May McGregor to start her second. And that little bit of movement in the air as Alice Monaghan almost nutmegs Kira Chatley at the other end.
Yeah, Essex have got their tails up at the moment. For them, it's going to be really important to see if they can stay on top here. Another wicket in the power play is what they'll certainly be hunting. This is the final over of that power play before the fielding restrictions change.
Just, again, not quite timing it. As you said earlier, they're just struggling to get a read of the pace of this pitch.
Yeah, it's I think one thing that struck me as well is obviously Alice Monaghan hasn't played for a while, particularly in this professional setting, and Rachel King on debut. And when there are a few nerves, you kind of sometimes just restrict and don't play as freely as you would like or would normally.
That's a big, big strike from Alice Monaghan, back over the head, and it's just going to beat the diving Eva Gray. Well, that's one way to ease off the nerves and feeling a bit of tension.
Yeah, absolutely. Not the cleanest of strikes, but effective. She's so powerful, Alice Monaghan, that even when it doesn't come out of the screw, she's picking up boundaries. Eva Gray puts in a good diving effort on the boundary. Slightly nervy, those of you who were overall Invincible fans and saw some of those games in 2022 and 2023, that's how Eva Gray actually dislocated her clavicle.
Ow. Glorious. That is just an imperious looking stroke. Plays it so late, bisects that gap and knows exactly where the space is, and it's back-to-back boundaries for Alice Monaghan.
Yeah, slightest bit of width on offer there, and Alice Monaghan has capitalised and beat that backward point really, really nicely. I think if we're looking at the boundaries that have been scored, minus this one that was hit over the top down the ground, any width is being punished here. So the bowling units need to be super disciplined in executing their lines.
That's much better. Fuller and straighter. Brings Chatley back on strike. Only faced the one delivery so far. She's got one to come in this over. 9 already from it.
Yeah, I think that's really nicely really well bowled there from McGregor. You mentioned in her first over how when she's over pitched or offered a little bit too much width, she's been able to adjust really quickly the next delivery.
Yeah, it worked around the corner this time, and Cordelia Griffiths will do the cleaning up. Kira Chatley off the mark with a single. 10 from the over, end of the power play. 6 gone. Surrey 39 for 2 after losing the toss and being put into bat by Essex here. And I don't want to alarm you, but I think the sun is coming out. And so you can have a ping of the QR code on your screen to take part in the Sustainability 20 quiz, and you could win tickets to the Kia Oval Test match this summer. So if I wasn't on air, I'd be whipping out my phone, having a scan, try and get myself to the test match. And today is obviously our Sustainability 20 doubleheader, so there's lots of activations going on around the Kia Oval today. And as I hear, includes honey tasting from local South London bees, and I don't know what kind of accent they have. Don't know what makes.
I'm not even going to attempt it. I really thought about it. I thought, actually, let's just rein it in.
Here comes Eva Gray. They're obviously Surrey fans, though, the bees.
Obviously.
Obviously.
I would probably say they're also Arsenal fans.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know why. Everyone around here seems to be an Arsenal fan.
Are you?
I was when I was small.
Okay.
Yeah, you know when you used to collect like the Premier League stickers?
Yeah.
And it was when Arsene Wenger became the Arsenal manager, and I just thought his name was hilarious, so they were my team.
This again just pushed up, and Long On will come in and do the cleaning up. Just one more to the total.
Yeah, so fielding restrictions now, 4 allowed outside of the ring. So Eva Gray has a deep cover. She has a long on, a deep square, who's quite in front of square, actually. They're almost a... It's nicely struck down the ground by Monaghan. That deep square is almost a square mid-wicket. It's very strange.
It's sort of hybrid.
Yeah. And then a fine leg. It's pretty orthodox, maybe a touch wide. So this is where Surrey really need to see if they can pick up twos and boundaries. Rotating the strike at the current run rate will take them just over the 120 mark.
Again, Cordelia Griffiths out on that cover boundary, comes in and does the cleaning up. She's been busy out there.
Yeah, very busy.
Pigeons just invading the pitch. They have certain spots, don't they, the pigeons on this outfield, that they like to hang around.
Yeah, they definitely like the this side of the ground.
Yeah, they like being sort of the fielding at point at the moment.
Yeah.
Goes for the sweep and gets it fine. It'll just be one more good diving effort again. They've been great in the field, haven't they?
They have been really good in the field. Amara Carr doing the tidying up there, saving the boundary. They are an exceptional fielding unit on their day, but you know, we all know that sometimes
it's just not your day. And obviously Amara Carr, we often see her with the gloves as well. That would just be another one to the total. So a pretty tidy over again from Eva Gray. 7 gone, Surrey 44 for 2. The sunshine definitely coming out. So the power play, the 2 wickets fell in the power play. It was almost Bryony Smith, the very first ball of the game, actually. And then she just started to get into her flow, as we know she can. And then eventually tried to go one too many. The tickle to Lauren Winfield-Hill behind the stumps. And then that was the end of Rachel King, the other opener too. Lauren Winfield-Hill again in the game. Alice Monaghan has come out and said, right, have you missed me? And started to really try and take it on. So now this partnership just trying to rebuild. Monaghan 11 from 9. Kira Chatley at the other end, 4 from 6. So we're going to have a change in bowler sponsored by SSE Energy Solutions. It's Abtaha Maksoud, the Scottish international. Another player who was a stalwart of that Sunrisers setup.
Yeah, a little bit of leg spin in play here. Let's see if there's any turn on offer.
Just a little bit of width outside the off stump, not a little too full for much turn. There's confusion in the middle, there's a mix-up, and she's going to have to go. There was an absolute complete lack of communication between the 2 batters out in the middle, and it's a very soft dismissal that's just sort of come out of nowhere, really, for Surrey. And Kirstie's just got her head in her hands next to me in the commentary box. A few words on that one?
Why? It was a beautifully timed shot, and I do think there was 2. Had they set off immediately and said, yes, 2, let's go. But Jo Gardner has probably got one of the best arms in the country. So she's got time to pick up and adjust what end she's throwing to. Gun barrel straight into Lauren Winfield-Hill. All she needs to do is take and break. So that brings Grace Harris to the crease.
I mean, if you're a Surrey fan, you wouldn't mind seeing this. You'd prefer to be a few less wickets down. That really was just an absolute brain fade between the 2 out in the middle. The fans that are rolling in won't have been best pleased to see that, but they will love to see Grace Harris out in the middle. Was here for her debut match, and it was like she'd just been here forever. She rocks up, scored 50, took 3 wickets, and just did it all with that typical sort of naughty schoolgirl smirk on her face that Grace Harris so often dons.
Yeah, she's just so nonchalant, isn't she? She's just so cool. And the wayfarers and just, yeah, I'll play a bit of cricket.
Flighted delivery from Maksoud to start things off.
That's a teaser of a first
Isn't
delivery
it?
there. Those are the deliveries that you think, yep, that's going, and then it gets under the bat, and the only person that's going is you.
Full toss this one, and that has gone very high, and it's taken on the boundary. Sophia Smale gives it the aeroplane. Well, the first one was a teaser. The second time she just couldn't resist and just not got enough on it. And that'll be the end of Grace Harris without troubling the scorers.
Yeah, there's no wind around. If there was a little bit of wind, it might have just carried it over the boundary. But as it was, it just seemed to keep going up. Didn't have quite the trajectory. She's not got all of that. And Maksoud doesn't bowl with a great amount of pace either, so you do have to generate it, even though it's a full toss. So, yeah, things aren't looking good here for Surrey.
Yes, trouble stations now. We thought Grace Harris might be one of the, well, she's always one of the key players for Surrey, but especially as they're lacking so many of their big hitters up the top. But it was really well judged, actually, by Sophia Smale out on the boundary. She knew exactly where the rope was, kept herself inside it. I thought it might have just had the legs to go over her head, but she's quite tall. Measured herself, set herself nicely, and it was well taken.
Yeah, I agree. It almost looked at one point like she was going to actually just keep going and keep walking over the boundary and take the catch, but actually it just seemed to just hold and just stop. So, yeah, you're on the money there. She judged it perfectly.
Another Surrey stalwart comes out to the middle now, Alice Davidson-Richards. It's 45 for 4.
If there's anyone you want to come in and rebuild an innings, it certainly is Alice Davidson-Richards.
And she's off the mark straight away here. Just pushes it up and long on comes in and cleans up. What an over this has been so far. The run out, a dot, a wicket.
Yes, it's an action-packed innings this half, for sure.
Nicely played by Kira Chatley. She won't get anything from it. She can play it so late.
Yeah, she does. She watches that ball all the way on and almost takes it out of the keeper's hands. Oh, that's a stunning shot.
Finds the gap. That is absolutely magnificent. That's the kind of cover drive that you take straight out of a textbook and put it in your highlights reel.
Yeah, she's absolutely threaded that through the eye of the needle there. The gap between extra cover and mid-off is so small, but she's hit that with precision and power and picked up 4 of the best. Shot of the day for me so far, that.
Yeah, Abtamaha Maqsood just having a slight blemish on the end of what had been a very good over so far. But this is what it takes. You need the rebuild. You just need, at this point, one person to go on and put in a big innings. And that's how T20 can work. You can just build around one person. So if one of these decides to take the reins, and the others can just build the partnership around. So Kopak is going to bowl her third. She's gone for 15 so far, picked up the 1 wicket. And that's really well bowled again.
Yeah, one thing Surrey don't lack is depth, but depth is good in principle, but with that you have to score runs. And, you know, we're eight overs in, so there won't be any element of panic, but Surrey need a minimum of 140 here, really, to be able to go out and defend. Yeah, there's a little bit in the pitch, and they've got a strong seam attack and some good spin options as well, but runs here are invaluable.
Again, just that little bit fuller, pushes this into the offside. Having to scamper through for every single, putting that pressure on the fielder. That's Davidson-Richards. A little snarl, like she's not amused by something. I think she's one of the most expressive cricketers I have ever come across.
Yeah, she... I can't say I've ever seen her play poker, but I can't imagine she'd be great at it, you know?
Yeah.
You know every emotion she's feeling at every second of every day.
Again, going to have to scamper through. And that's good running, actually. Just rotating that strike, putting the pressure on the fielder again. If you can just keep the score ticking over, take those singles, and then find the boundary when the bad ball comes. Because at the moment, they're going at over 6. It's just the wickets that are the problem.
That is, yeah. And, you know, if you continue to lose regular wickets, that opportunity to build a solid partnership becomes quite difficult. So this will be a really, really important phase here for Surrey.
Again, that one just kicks up, doesn't it? High on the bat. And this is an Essex side who are coming off the back of a pretty poor performance with the bat yesterday against Lancashire. So Surrey will be feeling, you know, if you can just get the runs on the board, something that can build some kind of scoreboard pressure, because the pressure is already on the Essex batters after yesterday. So they know they've got to come back fighting. Again, just pushing it around. There was almost a call of a second, and wisely decide not to take it.
I think they're just playing with us.
How are your nerves?
Oh,
Cortisol levels.
I just don't know what's happening. There's just a bit of a lack of communication.
One to come in this, the 9th over. Run rate now just 6. Kira Chatley going at run a ball 10. Hit nicely, but again, picks out the fielder, so will just be one more to the total. 9 gone, Surrey 54 for 4. Essex won the toss and decided they would have a bowl first, putting Surrey into bat. Surrey, who without a lot of players today, on England duty, England A duty, and yes, that's a great problem to have, but it also does create problems down the line with so many players missing.
Yeah, I think 7 players in total missing. So you're missing Danny White-Hodge, Sophia Dunkley, Alice Capsey, Paige Schofield, Rihanna McDonald-Gay, Emma Jones and Alexa Stonehouse.
Great work.
That's unbelievable, isn't it? Seven contracted Surrey players representing England across England and England A. And still unbelievable depth in their squad.
Yeah, it's astonishing, isn't it? And I think that's just a testament to the work done at Surrey over the last few years, before even this change in setup for this year. As Sophia Smail comes round the wicket, the left armour. And Kira Chatley tries to do something a little bit different, sort of the reverse scoop.
Yeah, it's a nice option. However, there is a short third in place, so she's got to get that super fine, but not too fine that it just lands in the gloves of Winfield Hill.
This time more conventional, rocks off the back foot and hits it through the covers. And finally finds the boundary.
Yeah, lovely, really good punch there. That deep cover's quite square. They're almost a cover point on the boundary, sweeping there. That's gone across the practice wickets and just picked up more speed as it has. And yeah, 4 more runs to the total. Straight into this over, which is good here for Surrey.
Moves her feet early this time. And gets a good hold of it, but luckily not enough to pick out Cordelia Griffith out at deep mid-wicket. Came hard off the bat.
Yeah, looks like Kira Chatley's just starting to arrive now. She's moving nicely around the crease.
Yeah, she's just seemed to push up into the next gear, hasn't she? Maybe not quite into 5th or 6th gear yet. She's hanging around 4th at the moment. ADR just having a little bit more trouble getting going.
Yeah, Essex have plugged the ramp and the reverse as well. Really likes that lap sweep option.
This time does get bat on ball, and again will be just 1, but it brings Chatley back on strike, who thought about coming back for a second, and ADR not even making eye contact.
No, I think you just all you need to do once that ball leaves the bat is think, is it going to Joe Gardner? And if it is, it's a 1. And you might even have to hurry then.
So 1 to come in the 10th over. Again, rocks off the back foot. It'll just be a single off the final ball of the over. So Chatley will keep strike for the beginning of the next. 10 gone, halfway through the innings here. Surrey 61 for 4. So with our Sustainability 20, we're obviously celebrating all things sustainability, and the Keir Oval and Surrey County Cricket Club has pledged to reach net zero by 2030. So that's just 5 years away. So trying to do every little bit for our wonderful planet. And today being the Sustainability 20, which I'm really struggling to get my mouth around to say.
I think you're doing a great job.
Yeah. I even practiced it on the way in and I still can't do it. I was sitting on my little line bike, Sustainability 20. People are probably thinking, what on earth is wrong with her?
Change of ends for Abdulhamid Sood.
Successful first over. The run out the first ball and then the wicket of Grace Harris without scoring. And she's done well as well to get down to that. Hit hard by Chatley.
Yeah, Surrey really need to go at 7+ and over here if they want anything that they think they can defend. It's not been the easiest wicket to score off of.
This one did a little bit of extra flight and some shuffly foot movement from Chatley. It was quite late in the end, sort of a few backward steps.
I think she played about 3 or 4 shots in her mind before settling on, I don't really know what that was, but picked up a single. Credit where it's due here for Essex. They've bowled incredibly tight lines, which have made it really difficult to score.
This time again, that bit of extra flight threads the needle. Alice Davidson-Richards through the gap, and that is a beautiful looking stroke.
Yeah, that's stunning from Alice Davidson-Richards. Little skip down the track. And again, accessing that extra cover area beautifully. The same way Kira Chatley did the previous over of Akhtar Maqsood from the other end.
This time rocks off the back foot. And are they going to come back for a second here? Yes, they will take on the arm of Cordelia Griffiths. There were 2 fielders sort of converging, and it was just far enough from both of them that made it an easy 2 in the end.
Yeah, good awareness, good running. Set off quickly there. 2 balls remain in the over. 7 from it so far.
This is just what they need. What they need is 1 big over to really get themselves up with that run rate and then just be able to push it around and continue to play their sort of natural game. You don't want to have to start being forced to really try and create boundaries. Again, that'll just be 1 more to the total.
Yeah, Eva Gray makes a change to the field just for Maqsood to get out of the over and not leak any more boundaries. So comes in and plugs that extra cover region and leaves mid-wicket open. It's a good finish to the over there for Essex.
Yeah, 8 from the over. In the end, 11 gone, 9 still to come. Surrey 69 for 4 after winning the toss, after Essex won the toss and put Surrey into bat. The wickets to go down. Smith, she fell in the 4th, just at the end of the 4th over. And then King not long after. There was a small partnership started to build before Monaghan fell to score 45 for 3. And then Grace Harris, the Australian big hitter, well, she came in and went just second ball without scoring. So 45 for 4. So this partnership now starting to build. 24 between these two, Alice Davidson-Richards and Kira Chatley now out in the middle.
Spin to continue from the Vauxhall end. It looks like Maddie Pena coming back into the attack. Penna.
It's just stuck in her hand, that one, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Gabby Brown holds her arms wide. And still holding her arms wide. That's much better. Just sort of tight to Alice Davidson-Richards, and unable to give her any width or any space to move free up her arms.
Yeah, I think if umpire Gabby Brown had kept her arms out much longer, she would have invited a few of the Surrey pigeons to land. You need to be careful here at the Oval. They do take liberties, the pigeons.
You need the hawk, like at Wimbledon. A little quicker this time from Penna. Have you ever been at the MCG in an evening?
No.
Well, they have the birds just descend. It's like being in a Hitchcock film. Suddenly you look up and it's about sort of 8 o'clock and there's just birds everywhere. Again, just rotating the strike. I can't remember who it was, but I think one of the England boys playing in the Big Bash last year, they happened to be, it might have been Ben Duckett, I'm not sure. Anyway, they were talking to his fiancée while he was batting. As they're talking to her, hits a ball, hits a pigeon. It's dangerous life as a pigeon. Misses out there, ADR.
Yeah, good over this from Penna so far. Really trying to bowl tight to the stumps.
A little bit of extra flight, just enticing the shot up and over, and she finds the outside edge again.
Here, another venue, cricketing venue, actually local to here, Wimbledon Cricket Club. The Geese.
Oh, the Geese.
The Geese are a menace to society. They own Wimbledon Cricket
Oh, do
Club.
they now?
There's two, and they just honk around.
Yeah, dot ball to end the over. ADR gives a stare.
Yeah, no, I'm on the side of the umpire here, ADR, and batting's my forte, but that was well within the tram lines there.
So 12 gone, 72 for 4. Well, when I used to play village cricket for my pub team, we played in a field that still had sheep in it. It was one of those. There was sort of sheep, there was sheep poo, there was a bit of, you know, a bit of everything. Because I was the youngest person, I did all the running.
Yeah.
And the sheep shoeing.
Sheep are quite skittish as well, aren't they?
Yeah, not a lot of brain cells to rub together, the ones in our field.
So was it called cow corner or sheep corner?
Well, exactly, yeah.
Ewe corner.
Yeah. So Esme McGregor, she bowled 2 so far, gone for 16, yet to pick up a wicket. Leading wicket taker in the tournament at the moment. And Kira Chatley and Alice Davidson-Richards just building a partnership here. Straight back over the head. Not quite got a hold of it for a moment. Mid-on thought she was in the game.
Well, from where I was standing, I was absolutely celebrating that being a boundary, and I just looked up and it'd gone for 1. So
I think sometimes it's deceptive. From the commentary boxes here especially. Cam and I had this a few weeks ago. Everything we thought, oh, it's gone a long way.
yeah.
And actually sort of dropped inside the ring.
Yeah, I was having a hands above the head clap, and well, I mean, it was a nice shot still, just could have been nicer.
Made a nice noise, looked great, just didn't go that far. This one turned away leg side by ADR. So at the moment, dealing in singles. Again, Joe Gardner out there.
Yeah, that run rate's just dropped again, just to 6s. So batting still to come from Surrey. There is still a fair bit. You have Phoebe Franklin, who had a good performance in the County Cup. Callia Moore, debutant Emily Burke.
This one inside out, lands just short of the fielder at extra cover. Again, another one looked like it was going over. And I'm not even wearing glasses that I can say I need to clean.
Yeah, this wicket is almost, and I do think this is how Esme McGregor bowls. It's how she takes her wickets as well. She just has the ability for the ball to grip and just hold in the surface. So you're quite often through your shot quicker than the ball has arrived. Strong call of no. It goes into the hands of Joe Gardner.
They'll be thinking they wish they'd done a few of those earlier. The strong calls of no.
Yeah, or any form of call, I think probably.
Actually, yeah, just any kind of communication.
Yeah.
So just bringing up fine leg inside the ring. 3 out on the leg side.
Calling a slower ball here.
Cover out on the boundary. And that will go out to Cordelia Griffith again, out at deep extra.
Well, she's tried to bowl a cutter there, but has almost rolled her hands so far over the seam that her delivery actually came wider from her head than usual.
So one to come from McGregor. That'll be just one, you think. There was an early call, perhaps, of 2, and then decided against it. So 6 singles from the over, 13 gone. Surrey 78 for 4. Still going at 6 and over, and they've got 7 overs still to come. And as you say, there is batting in the hutch still.
There is.
So this partnership just dragging them back into contention.
Yeah, there is plenty of batting still to come, as the DJ is suggesting.
I was just thinking, is that the words to this song?
Yeah. There's been some absolute bangers today. We've had a bit of Baywatch as well.
Yeah,
Takes
did
me back
hear
to
that
my
one.
university days.
Yes,
that.
I was wondering if that was a thing at not just my university.
Yeah, no, student unions across the United Kingdom unite.
I used to box as well, and that was actually my walkout song.
Was it?
Baywatch
That's
song, yeah.
exceptional.
Sophia Smale starts her second again, left arm around the wicket. Scamper through for a single. Yeah, everyone else had some kind of hardcore music, and I had the Baywatch song. People got far more into it.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'd support someone that walked out to that. Yeah.
Is it just stuck in the hand a little of Smale? Just going to give her hand a little wipe there. Bit of sawdust.
Yeah, Essex are really turning the screws on this run rate here. Every dot ball is just dropping and dropping, putting that pressure back on the Surrey batters. Boundaries have been really hard to come by.
Yeah, it's been a sort of slow, tacky wicket as well, hasn't it? I guess they can take heart coming into their bowling from this one. Surrey, they've got some, obviously still a good, strong bowling lineup, even if they are missing a few.
Yeah, definitely. So that tacky wicket.
Again, that one's stuck in the hand of Sophia Smale, and that's just helped on its way. It was there to be hit, and Alice Davidson-Richards will capitalise on that all day long.
Yeah, straight but too short. Punished by Alice Davidson-Richards. Strong shoulders, muscles that round the corner, and Cordelia Griffiths can't cut off the boundary. Deep backward square.
That's a little better from Smale. A few just strayed down that leg side. This one a little bit straighter. So this partnership, now 40 between Davidson-Richards and Chatley. And this is what Surrey needed. They needed a rebuilding partnership, but they're also just looking to up that run rate as well, as Chatley makes good connection back down the pitch, and they'll come back for a second, and good running as well. An expensive over in the end. 14 gone. Surrey 87 for 4.
Yeah, so 36 balls to come. This pair will be thinking about how many runs they would like to score off this final 36. Continue at this rate, they'll score just over 120. On 126.
Yeah, you think they'd like a few more than that, though.
Yeah, don't think that's par here. Early wickets will be key for Surrey when they come back out to bowl, but runs on the board as a comfort blanket will certainly give them a little bit more of a buffer.
So Eva Gray has been really economical. Just gone for 8 from her 2 overs so far. She heads off, coming towards us from the pavilion end, and is sent back again. So false start. I have to go and do that one again. Goes aerial. Fielder takes the catch, easy as you like. Sophia Smale has her second catch at deep mid-wicket. And this time it's Alice Davidson-Richards, and Eva Gray has her second wicket of the day too.
Yeah, the only shot that Alice Davidson-Richards would have liked to have mistimed, because she's hit that so hard that Sophia Smale has come herring in to meet it, and it almost takes her by surprise. She does really well to hold on to that. She's still moving towards the ball as she takes the catch. She's travelling at some speed here as well.
Didn't have to make up too much room, so could get herself quite well set. And it was sort of diving to the right. I think it was a little higher than she was expecting it to come, and that's because the power that ADR had on it. So it brings Phoebe Franklin now out to the middle, but Essex, they'll be feeling buoyed by this. They've just broken that partnership that you sort of thought if they stayed out there till the end, they could put sort of the 130, 140 perhaps if they really went some.
Yeah, really, really good wicket for Essex to take there. Lauren Winfield-Hill up to the stumps as well, so that's just keeping batters in the crease. Expect to see lots of change-ups here from Eva Gray. Lots of cutters, lots of back-of-the-hand slower balls, which means the batters have to be really intelligent about how they're going to score their runs here, using the crease and the width and depth of the crease.
That's really well bowled. Oh, good day out, Eva Gray. 2 for 8. Her figures for now.
Yeah, she's certainly having a captain's day. She's such a consistent bowler. This is bread and butter for her. Not maybe taking as many wickets as she would have liked to this year, I'm sure, but this is an excellent bowling performance from herself.
No one had any idea where that one went. Luckily for Phoebe Franklin, lands safe. Lauren Winfield-Hill flying off towards the leg side.
Yeah, I think the key for the batters here is not to get stuck on the crease. It's going to be about using the lateral movement in and around the crease and also the depth of it as well. If you're going to try and get underneath it, using the depth of the crease will be really important.
Yeah, it's good running actually. Straight to the fielder, but hit hard enough to go off on the rebound and capitalise by scampering through for a single. So Franklin finally off the mark.
Yeah, Esme McGregor's been fantastic at backward point for Essex today. She's probably saved about 10 runs there easily today.
Nearly lost her teeth in the process.
Yes, do you have dental?
Moves across early and again. That fielder's positioned down there at fine leg.
Yeah, I like that. I like that intent from Kira Chatley, moving across and getting outside, inside the line and trying to just beat fine leg. But fine leg is very fine, so she's either going to have to get right underneath it and try and get it over, or she's going to have to try and beat backwards square and fine leg in that gap. She gets it to the left of fine, she's got 4.
Again, hit hard. Great crunch off the bat from Chatley. It'll be just one more to the total. Again, a really tidy over. 2 runs and the wicket coming from it. 15 gone. Surrey 89 for 5 after being put into bat this afternoon at the Kia Oval. There are a few more rolling into the crowd this afternoon as Mambo number 5 reverberates around the ground.
Yeah, fantastic 3 overs from Eva Gray. She's bowled 3 overs, 2 wickets for 9 runs so far. Imagine she would probably bowl the last. So 30 deliveries remain, 5 overs in old money.
Yeah.
So I would imagine these two have probably set themselves a total here.
Advances down the pitch at this one. Again, just a single to the total. You'd say minimum 135 if they can.
Yeah, I think that's bare minimum. There's a pigeon on the track. Pigeon on a length.
Don't go short. A little extra flight there, and that's really quick hands through the gap from Phoebe Franklin.
Yeah, that extra cover region has been really profitable for Surrey today. Seen some of the best shots of the day. As Kira Chatley says, I'm going to pick that spot. Then Alice Davidson-Richards says, I'm going to go one better and hit it even straighter and more powerfully through there. And all at Abtaha Maqsood's expense, unfortunately for her.
Yeah, that's much better. That little bit fuller, getting her force back in the crease.
Yeah, I think Essex have been really good today where they've been punished with a boundary at following up with either a dot or a single.
Just have to go back and start that one again. False start. Hit nicely, hit hard. Joe Gardner's out there. The sweeper comes round. And they're going to come back for a second, take it on. If that had been taken cleanly by Abtaha Maqsood, that would have been another one down for Surrey at the expense of Joe Gardner's arm.
And maybe a heart attack for me.
And maybe a heart attack for Kirstie. They would have been calling the ambulance.
Good running in the end.
Yeah, come away with 2.
Yeah. Says 2 in the score sheet.
So eyeing up that 100 now, Surrey. 7 already from the over. Moves very early, goes aerial. This time it goes all the way. The first 6 of the innings off the bat of Phoebe Franklin, and it brings up the 100 for the home side too.
Yeah, that's really nicely played there by Phoebe Franklin. The over before, we were talking about just moving laterally around the crease, and she's done that perfectly. Got inside the line of that delivery. Square leg, they have a square leg in the ring, just on the right-hand side of the umpire, and they also have a, well, like we said before, a very hybrid-y, moving now around to a deep mid-wicket, although I'm not sure Sophia Smell knows quite where she needs to be.
Final delivery of the over, not timed at all by Franklin, just hits it into the ground. So a dot to finish the over, but expensive. 13 runs coming from it, 16 gone, sorry, 102 for 5. And there's that sort of mental aspect as well, isn't there, of crossing that 3-figure mark.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a key over for Surrey there. I was thinking at the start, they're due a big over. They need a big over of around 15 to 20 runs being scored. And that was it. So that might be the injection that Surrey get a need to kick on here for these final 4 overs.
I think this has been a really crucial knock from Kira Chatley as well. She came in when there's a little bit of trouble going on as well, the 2 early wickets to fall. 27 from 29, you wouldn't look at a scorecard and go, oh, that is a really big shining light to write home about. But she's just anchored this nicely, and partners have come and gone, but she's still sticking up there with that run rate as well. Now she's got the opportunity to push on in these final overs. She takes that on, that's going to really hurt. She's just smacked that straight back at McGregor, who is pretending it doesn't hurt at all. Just shrugs it off, wry smile.
Yeah, well fielded.
Whew.
Oh.
In the words of the bear from Dr. Dolittle, that's going to bruise. You know what? She might be disappointed, actually.
Oh.
One of those ones you just don't want to watch in slow-mo, but you can't help but watch.
Yeah. Disappointment from the bowler, disappointment from the batter, and a dot ball.
Advances this time, inside out. Cordelia Griffith for a moment would have thought she was in the game there, but again, sounded like it was struck so nicely, looked glorious off the bat, and actually fell well short.
Yeah, I think you're right about Kira Chatley here as well. I think it's been a really gritty performance. She's kind of recognised early on it's not going to be easy to score boundaries, and actually her presence at the crease is more important than the rate at which she scores, especially being in these final few overs.
Again, comes down the pitch. This time, has she got a hold of it? Just over the fielder at extra cover. Lands in that no man's land.
Yeah, running backwards, Eva Gray. It's just seemed to loop over her. Lissy McLeod seems to be coming round behind, and between them, I don't think either of them could really make a decision on whose attempt it was.
Nicely swept, really well played. Just wide enough of fine leg, who's not actually that fine. It's gone between sort of fine leg and Joe Gardner, that sort of forward square, deep square.
Yeah, that's that area that we were talking about the previous over, where Eva Gray was bowling from the pavilion end, where if you just can beat fine leg on their left, you will pick up 4 runs. Joe Gardner's fast, but this outfield is absolutely lightning.
Advances down the pitch again, going inside out, up over extra cover, back-to-back boundaries. Kira Chatley, we were just saying what a gritty knock it's been, and now it's turning into something a little more destructive. She moves on to 36 from 33.
Yeah, really enjoying this performance now from Kira Chatley. She's decided the time is now, back of the last over. And she said she's going to get her team across the line and get a good total on the board that they can go out and defend. 112 for 5 from 16.5 overs.
Just straying down the leg side. I think she's got a little tickle on that one. It means it's 3 boundaries in a row at the back end of this over. So 14 coming from it. And that is the kind of big over that Surrey really would have wanted as we come into the dying overs of this innings.
Yeah, it was essential she got any form of bat on that because she stepped so far outside the off stump. Had she missed it, it wouldn't have been given a wide. I think it would have just stayed as a profile delivery.
So 17 gone, 116 for 5, and that 130 is looking very on.
Yeah. Surrey looking a little bit more confident now with the bat in hand. Hopefully it's not too little too late for them. Okay, we've got 18 deliveries to put as many runs on the board as they can. We still have Priyanaaz Chatterjee to come. They have Emily Burke. They have Callia Moore, and they have Danny Gregory to come. So there is still a fair bit of batting to come.
Going back to the spin of Maddie Penner here, the Adelaide Strikers player over from Australia. And that is just smacked straight back down the pitch. 4 more. Phoebe Franklin, that is magnificent.
That is magnificent. The dilemma that Eva Gray has as a captain here is she needs to be, or she feels she needs to be close to the batter. Now, she would usually be fielding down at long on. So as she's captain today, it seems that she feels that she needs to be in the ring so she can communicate with her captain. And as a result, Lissy McLeod is at the long on boundary. I can't help but feel, and this is no disservice to Lissy McLeod, had Eva Gray been on the long on boundary there, she probably would have cut that off. So it is a captain's dilemma.
Slightly quicker one this time from Penner. And good running as well. Set off early. Kira Chatley at the non-strikers was rapid out of the blocks.
Yeah, Penner does well to gather that because the shy at the stumps from Esme McGregor meant that Penner's had to make some ground to gather the ball because there was no one coming in off the boundary to back that up. It could have ended up as 2.
Again, not timed. Squirts down towards square leg. Again, full. Somehow that has gone through absolutely everything and everyone. Lauren Winfield-Hill can't believe it, but it's going to race to the boundary. 4 more to the total. Just the screws coming off a little bit here for Essex. Surrey starting to capitalise and really push on in the dying overs.
Yeah, vital runs. I think that might have actually just tickled off the thigh pad of Phoebe Franklin and outwitted Lauren Winfield-Hill, who might have gathered that otherwise. But yeah, vital runs for Surrey. 10 from the over so far.
Misses out this time. So 1 to come in this over from Maddie Penner. Just her 3rd of the day. 10 already from it. Moves very early. Penner saw her coming and has actually just gone so wide, stuck in the hand. And yeah, we said the wheels might be coming off a little bit here for Essex. And that's just bonus runs for Surrey.
Oh no. I almost thought that was a no ball, actually. Has that pitched off of the cut strip? She's seen Phoebe Franklin going across and thought, I'm following you, but followed her probably onto the wrong wicket.
I'll be just 1 more to the total. No, coming back for a second, taking on the arm, chance of run out, dive comes in. And the pressure really on Essex now. 18 overs gone, 133 for 5. They'll be very happy with this. Until then, we've been just talking about how good the Essex fielding had been at times. Saving boundaries, saving runs, taking their catches. The run-outs have been exceptional. Look at that for a bit of work, putting the body on the line. It's so important in T20 cricket, isn't it? Saving every possible run. And that one almost taking out McGregor's front teeth. So they just got to take heart from that. They really can perform well when they need to. 2 overs still to come. Already 133 on the board now for Surrey.
Yeah, those 4 stops that you've just seen on screen easily have saved 4 boundaries. So that's 16 runs. Obviously, they've picked up a single for each. So 12 runs saved instantly from that total, which could be quite daunting, especially for the Essex team here.
Just pushing that Jo Gardner back square again. And that was flat batted back past the bowler. So she'd been in that sort of weird hybrid position, hadn't she, for a while, and now she is at deep square.
Yeah, and I think that's just where these 2 batters are using the lateral movement in their crease. Square leg is actually coming up here, and we're having a long off going out, so this would probably indicate to me that there's going to be probably a 4th stump line here. That's very well bowled from Eva Gray. Phoebe Franklin obliges. I did wonder if she was going to try and step outside the line and sweep that over square leg. Square leg has now gone back out again. So Jo Gardner out onto that boundary, just backward of square.
She's doing the hokey coke, isn't she? In, out, and out. And down on one knee, and that's just going to be cut off by Sophia Smell. Thought it was going to bisect those 2 fielders. And there's quite a distance between them now.
Yeah, that was well picked up by Sophia Smell. At some point, I thought maybe she was going to have to pull out the full frontal slide, which would have been straight down the middle of a training wicket. So she'll be glad that she didn't need to do that. Square leg comes back into the ring.
Moves across very early again, and it's going to go to the boundary, this one. Eva Gray rocks her head to the side, can't believe it. It brings up the 50 partnership from 27 deliveries between Chatley and Franklin. And they're up to 140 now, and they're playing my karaoke song, Jump Around.
Yeah, that's gone through and beaten everyone. Lauren Winfield here had absolutely no idea where that's gone. So I think the outcome was always going to be 4, whether she got bat on it or not. So vital runs here for Surrey.
Moves across very early again. Almost too early. Followed her. There's Eva Gray, and it's a much needed dot ball. Jo Gardner goes out again.
Yeah, not quite balanced when trying to play that shot. Doesn't quite execute. Still on the move. Definitely the right idea. Amara Carr, you're going to be in the game here.
Moves very early, goes aerial this time, lands just short of Gardner at deep square, and after all that effort, just 1 off the final ball of the over, so 19 gone. Surrey 141 for 5, and they'll be feeling pretty confident about this now.
Yeah, 5 overs ago, we were saying that there are 36 deliveries to come, and it's going to be a case of how many can we score. At that time, Surrey were around 5.76 runs and over, and only looking at about 120. So a real injection of intent. Firstly from Alice Davidson-Richards, and secondly now with this partnership worth over 50 runs from Phoebe Franklin and Kira Chatley.
Well, Kira Chatley also 43 from 37. She could be eyeing up a potential half-century here.
Yeah, I think this pair here will be thinking about scoring as many runs as possible. Not too worried about being there at the end of the innings. So bit of a rejig here of some fielders into the hot spots.
Yeah, interesting. Sophia Smale to bowl the final over. So keeping the pace off. 3 inside the ring on the offside. Follows her this time. Goes aerial, land just short of deep mid-wicket.
Yeah, coming over the wicket, so it's left arm over, so she's just forcing the batters to play into the onside. Bowling straight in that angle across the batter.
Chatley moves very early. And again, just 1. They're almost trying too hard at this point, these two. Just trying to add some pace to it. Obviously, there's not a lot of pace coming down from Smale, so having to create that. This one goes aerial, and that's going to be... Yep, there it is. It's going to be the second 6 of the innings. Phoebe Franklin takes it on the full, works it round the corner, goes aerial, and adds 6 more to the total. Score moves on to 149 for 5.
Yeah, 6 of the best. Sometimes when the bowler comes over the wicket like this and tries to force you into the onside, the temptation is to go into out and over extra cover, but they've stuck with their guns. They know they can clear these ropes.
Moves early again, and has she got a hold of this one? Yes, she has. Back-to-back 6s for Phoebe Franklin, who's just decided, right, boom, here we go, brings up the 150, and she suddenly moves on to 44 from 21.
Yeah, boom, boom. 2 6s in a row. Adjusts well because Smale follows her to that off-stump line, and originally she was trying to get that over backward square, but actually picks over the top of deep mid-wicket really, really nicely.
Shot. Again, just the fielder out on the boundary, but followed by Smale, and they're going to come back for a second. Franklin moves on to 46. So 1 delivery still to come, a very expensive final over this one. Already 16 from it, if my maths is correct, which I believe it is. So 1 delivery still to come. 157 for 5 on the board for Surrey. Moves across early again, this time goes along the ground. Will they come back for a second? They're going to. The throw comes in, and the throw was poor in the end, and they've done really well to get 2 off the final ball of the innings. And what a final over, 18 from it. So at the end of 20 overs, Surrey 159 for 5, and well, it wasn't a great start at all. Lost early wickets and then regular wickets, but Kira Chatley, she stuck out there in the middle, and yes, she doesn't finish as the top scorer, but she was the glue for this innings. She finishes unbeaten on 44 from 38. Phoebe Franklin at the other end, unbeaten on 48 from just 23 deliveries. So that means the target for Essex is actually going to be a pretty hefty 160 in their 20 overs, which is going to take some doing. They had a difficult day out yesterday with the bat, but today Surrey have done well. They've dug in, they fought hard to get themselves to 159 in their 20 overs. 2 wickets for Eva Gray, 1 apiece for Kopak and Maxsood, but other than that, they took a bit of cop, did the Essex bowlers. Surrey, they've done well to get to 159 for 5. Well, we're going to have a short break, but you can watch the crowd trying to catch some high tennis balls here at the Kia Oval, and then we'll be back with the chase.
Time now for our Kia High Catch Challenge. Just find out who the teams are. Team number 1, what's your name, please, sir? Nice to be you. Oh, you 3 of you, yes. What's your name?
Edric.
Edric, and?
It's my grandson.
Your grandson, your granddad, and you're just a mascot. What's your name, mascot?
Ollie.
All right, Ollie, your job is to cheer and scream. And team 2, what's your name?
David.
David and?
Emma.
Emma, welcome. So taking part in the Kia High Catch Challenge. Basically, you're going to get 3 balls each to catch as many as you can. Whoever scores the most wins the prizes. Team 1, you'll be going first. The grandson, you'll be going over first. You'll be getting yourself over there. You put yourself over there. Come over here, please, mascot. All right, so 3 balls will be heading your way. Granddad, come over here, sir. And we'll let, here we go. First one, grandson, here we go. Of course, the Kia Oval will go crazy if you catch it. Oh, granddad, he's got 3, then you've got 3. You wait, granddad. All right, yeah. Right, second one, he's got 2 yet. Here we go. Go on. Oh, it went too deep. All right, third and final one for you, my friend. And then Grandad is going to show us what to do. It's up in the air. Can you catch it? Can you? Yes! All right, Grandad, now your time. Come over here, sir. All right, okay, 3 coming your way, sir. Here we go. Here we go. It's up high. Oh, it's deep. Yeah. Ooh, close. Okay, next one on its way. Here we go. Oh, it's gone short, sir. Go on. He's 87. What are you doing? All right, third and final one for Grandad. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Nice, easy one, sir. Oh, come over here, sir. Come over here. Bad luck. All right, you two. Come on, Dave. You're going next. All right, 1 to beat. 1 to beat. Let's see what the record could be for you. Okay, here we go. Your first of 3 balls heading your way. Oh, short. Oh, the wind's got it. Wind's got it. Yeah. He caught that. Well done. All right, second one on the way. It was a low catch. All right. It's going deep. Going deep. Oh, hello. Professional at work here. Third and final one. All right, here we go. Third and final one. Oh! The arrogance of the man to catch it from behind. All right, come this way. Just to let you know, right? Just to let you know, no one has ever caught 6 balls in total, all right? It's your birthday today as well. So here we go. Your first ball coming your way, birthday girl. Here we go. Oh! All right, the record was not up for grabs, but let's see if we can catch at least one, birthday girl. Here we go. Crowd will go crazy if you catch it. Oh! Oh! Third and final one. Here we go. And if you can lip read, we do apologise. All right, here we go. Third and final one. Oh! Okay, so come over here. Come over here. Let's get ourselves over here. You don't go home empty-handed. You'll still win some goodies. But our winners today, a husband and wife team who we can safely say he's going to be talking about this all the way home, how good he was. You've been absolutely brilliant. All of you are going to win a little prize. Give them a big round of applause, everybody, taking part on our Key High Catch Challenge. Well done, guys and girls. Let's get them spoiled. Right, DJ CJ, back to you, my friend.
shop. We're also pleased to say that the boundary shop is open. That's behind blocks 6 and 7 of the JM Finn stand. And today we have a very special offer in both the shops where all blue Surrey caps are on sale for just £15. And do pay a visit to the club shop and the boundary shop and make the most of that great offer, as well as checking out the full range of Surrey merchandise. If you're looking for a bite to eat or something to drink whilst we wait for play to restart, then for members, the whole of the pavilion is open, offering a selection of food and drinks. We've also got the Curb Food Village by the JM Finn stand for all spectators. And
again, going into the side out, up over extra cover, back-to-back boundaries. This one goes aerial, it's going to be goes aerial. It's going to be... Yep, there it is. This one goes aerial. It's going to be... Yep, there it is. It's going to be the second six of the innings. Yep, there it is. It's going to be the second six of the innings. This one goes aerial. It's going to be... Yep, there it is. It's going to be... Yep, there it is. It's going to be the second six of the innings.
Smoothie bikes to mix up some smoothies with pedal power, local honey tasting with Bee Urban, and energy bikes to see how much pedal power you have. Tell us a little bit more about why today's Sustainability 20 is so important. Turn your attention to the big screen.
Smith goes aerial and it's put down at short mid-wicket. Very first delivery. That's more like it from Smith. She's going to pick up the first boundary of the day. Big swing at this one. She's found an edge, and that is the breakthrough. Kopak makes the breakthrough. It's a big swing, finds the edge, the tickle again. That's a big, big strike from Alice Monaghan. Back over the head. Just a little bit of width outside the off stump, not a little too full for much turn. There's confusion in the middle, there's a mix-up, and she's gonna have to go. Full toss this one, and that has gone very high, and it's taken on the boundary. Sophia Smale gives it the aeroplane. This time more conventional, rocks off the back foot and hits it through the covers. This time again, that bit of extra flight, threads the needle. Alice Davidson-Richards through the gap. Goes aerial, fielder takes the catch, easy as you like. Sophia Smale has her second catch at deep mid-wicket. A little extra flight there, and that's really quick hands through the gap from Phoebe Franklin. He goes aerial this time. Advances down the pitch again, going inside out, up over extra cover, back-to-back boundaries. This one goes aerial, and that's going to be, yep, there it is. It's going to be the second six of the innings. Has she got a hold of this one? Yes, she has. Hira Chatley, she's stuck out there in the middle. And yes, she doesn't finish as the top scorer, but she was the glue for this innings. She finishes unbeaten on 44 from 38. Phoebe Franklin at the other end, unbeaten on 48 from just 23 deliveries. put down. Smith goes aerial and it's put down at short mid-wicket. Very first delivery. That's more like it from Smith. She's going to pick up the first boundary of the day. Big swing at this one. She's found an edge, and that is the breakthrough. Kopak makes the breakthrough. It's a big swing, finds the edge, the tickle again. That's a big, big strike from Alice Monaghan. Back over the head. Just a little bit of width outside the off stump, not a little too full for much turn. There's confusion in the middle, there's a mix-up, and she's gonna have to go. Full toss this one, and that has gone very high, and it's taken on the boundary. Sophia Smale gives it the aeroplane. This time more conventional, rocks off the back foot and hits it through the covers. This time again, that bit of extra flight, threads the needle. Alice Davidson-Richards through the gap. Goes aerial, fielder takes the catch, easy as you like. Sophia Smale has her second catch at deep mid-wicket. A little extra flight there, and that's really quick hands through the gap from Phoebe Franklin. He goes aerial this time. Advances down the pitch again, going inside out, up over extra cover, back-to-back boundaries. This one goes aerial, and that's going to be, yep, there it is. It's going to be the second six of the innings. Has she got a hold of this one? Yes, she has. Kira Chatley, she's stuck out there in the middle. And yes, she doesn't finish as the top scorer, but she was the glue for this innings. She finishes unbeaten on 44 from 38. Phoebe Franklin at the other end, unbeaten on 48 from just 23 deliveries.
just joined us, good afternoon, a very warm welcome to the keynote for today's Vitality Blast double header. As you may have noticed, we had a delay to the restart of the first match of the day, the women's match between Surrey and Essex. But the good news is, assuming we have no further rain, we'll be getting back underway in 20 minutes' time at 2:40, at which point Essex will need 94 to win from 10 overs via the Duckworth Lewis method. 94 to win
Hello, welcome back to the Kia Oval. The good news is that the rain has stopped and we are going to have some cricket. So obviously things have had to be adjusted a little bit because of the inclement weather. So we're going to have a 10-over innings here, and because of the adjustments, it means that Essex now require 94 with that adjusted score. So Surrey made 159 for 5 in their 20 overs. Mother Nature decided she wanted to get involved in the Sustainability 20. It rained, and now we're going to have 10 overs for Essex, and they need 94. I'm still joined by the wonderful Kirstie. Kirstie, bit different this. This could be tricky.
Could be tricky. There was a point where actually in the first innings, the first half of the game, actually, you'd probably say Essex were on for the win here, but a big smash and grab job at the back end of that batting innings with Phoebe Franklin and Kira Chatley has put them in a really dominant position. And a big challenge here for Essex is going at 9s and over, just over, to secure a win here. There's a little bit more rain around on the radar, so we'll be keeping an eye on that today. 5 overs constitutes the game, so Surrey will be keen to get those 5 overs in quickly. Whether they'll start with spin or not will be an interesting question, and stay tuned to see what happens there. But yeah, don't look away.
Do not look away. So the bowlers can bowl a maximum of 2 overs each, and the power play is going to be 3 overs rather than the normal 6. So that is how things are going to work. The good news is I've seen all the brollies go down. I can even see people taking off raincoats. So this is good news as Surrey head on out through the middle. They'll be feeling pretty buoyed though, won't they? They started off and they was quite slow. They lost regular wickets. They lost who you thought would have been some of their big guns, but actually got themselves up to a very respectable 159 for 5. Phoebe Franklin at the end, back-to-back 6s in the last over, and Kira Chatley, she was the PVA glue that held the innings together.
Well, I said, are we going to be seeing spin to start to get through that very short power play? And I believe for the first time in the Vitality T20 Bath campaign this year, Bryony Smith is taking the ball. So let's see how this goes.
Very interesting. The captain deciding she's going to open the bowling.
Taking on the responsibility, I like it. It's a big game today. There's going to be a lot of pressure on this fielding unit and bowling unit to be really disciplined at the start. So who better than to lead you from the front with your captain?
So Lauren Winfield-Hill is going to face up for the first ball, it seems, on loan from Yorkshire this year at Essex. Obviously a former England player. Been around everywhere. I was playing at Queensland over the winter. They were runners-up in that WNCL this year, playing over in the Big Bash as well. Been there, done that, got the T-shirt, you think, Lauren Winfield-Hill? She's off the mark straight away, scattering the pigeons.
3 debutantes in the Surrey team as well, so there'll be a few nerves in the field wanting to do well for their team. So Rachel King, who's fielding at backward point, a good position for the keeper to be fielding in.
Again, just carbon copy of the first delivery, so both batters underway now. So they need to be going at over 9 and over, which is quite an ask really, and they haven't got a lot of time to get themselves in Essex. But also if they're looking at the weather around and they're thinking, right, this gets shortened to 5 aside, we just go big, go early, and think maybe if the rain comes, we'll be ahead of that run rate. Just picks out Danny Gregory there.
Yeah, and I think boundaries in this 3-over power play are going to be really, really important for Essex here. Probably not got the depth in their batting lineup that Surrey have, but they're not going to be wanting to be behind the rate at any point here today. Dots and ones are vital.
Goes aerial this time. And again, not quite the contact she might have hoped for, and they've done well to come back for a second. Good running from this pair.
Yeah, very good running. Lissy McLeod, as soon as that's come off the bat, has had a quick look over her shoulder as that's gone out to long on and decided that's going to be 2 straight away. So she's communicated that quickly and turned really well.
Just lets her hit it. Lets it hit her this time. It's Lauren Winfield-Hill. So 4 from the over so far, 1 still to come. And remember, every over they're behind. There's even a chuckle there between Kira Chatley and Lauren Winfield-Hill. 2 keepers, keepers union. pulled away this time again. Fielder out a deep mid-wicket. Slightly messy. It means they're going to come back for a second, actually. It was hit hard. Just rebounds off the body. 2 off the final, 1 off the final ball. So 5 off that first over. 6 even, yeah, it was 2 off the last ball, I thought so. So 6 off the first over, already behind that run rate, and every time you're behind it, it pushes up that little bit more.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an over by over, so Surrey won that over. So it's going to be a case of who can win the most overs here in 10. Priyanath Chatterjee taking the ball from the Vauxhall end. Debut in the T20s, I believe, in the Blast. Has featured in the T20 Cup. She bowls natural away swing, quite a low slingy bowler. Can be quite hard to get away. So starting with a deep, I'd say almost deep extra cover. Quite a straight-ish cover. And a square leg who was in front and is now just moving behind.
It's almost that strange kind of positioning again that we saw in the Essex innings, sort of between deep mid-wicket and square leg. So now right arm over. And she gets a wicket with her very first ball, just skewed up in the air by McLeod. She had a big swing at that one, outside edge and straight down the throat of the fielder. What a start for Chatterjee.
Yeah, swing for the win again, straight on the money first ball. And as we saw in the first innings with the bowling up front, just holding in the wicket, Chatterjee keeps the ball low. She doesn't have natural bounce, and that's just kind of shot through off the outside edge.
And a big heave at that one. Danny Gregory, she's a great fielder, not going to put that down. Wicket already down in just the second over now. Great start this for Surrey. This is just what they would have wanted.
Yeah, well held, Danny Gregory. That'll be one to settle the nerves for Priyanath Chatterjee. Georgie, I can't get over the tunes. They're absolute bangers today.
Yeah, the tunes have been banging. I was told that I was singing along to ABBA as we came back on air, and I think it was very much Georgie, please stop or we'll lose viewers.
So Maddie Penner to the crease, 6 for 1. Surrey started the exact way they would have hoped, hunting wickets early.
Gosh, she's hit that hard. Really well stopped. An extra cover by Alice Monaghan down there.
Yeah, Alice Monaghan, how's your thumb? That is not the first delivery you want to be fielding after you've just come back from having a couple of screws in your thumb.
This time just targeting at those pads. Grace Harris does the fielding, not in the runs today. You wonder if we might see her with the ball in a shortened match.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Grace Harris has been very good for Surrey at really restricting run rate and tying teams down, so that'll play a really big role in this innings, particularly if the rate starts to creep up.
Again, just full and straight. Good line of length this from Chatterjee. What a great first over. If she can see this through, she can start with a wicket maiden. Wicket with very first delivery and yet to concede a run.
Yeah, this is brilliant from the Scottish international. Do you think the conversation here is, guys, wicket maiden? Did I? What am I going to do? What do you do?
Just don't tempt Mother Cricket.
Don't tempt Mother Cricket, sorry, and don't give any width.
Well, there is that too. Oh, that has hit so hard. Straight back along the carpet. It's a glorious looking stroke from Maddie Penner.
Yeah, that struck beautifully back. So powerfully. Chatterjee just hasn't got time to get down and get anything on it at all. It's past her before she's even made it to the ground.
That's hit so hard. What a noise off the bat as well.
Yeah, Chatterjee didn't seem too upset. She said, yeah, well played.
For a moment, you would have thought, oh, will I put my foot in front of this? And you think, actually, there's a lot of bones in there that could go crack. that one is going to hurt as well, but really well stopped in her follow through. And then a chance of a run out as well. Alice Monaghan really quick. Eventful over that one. 2 gone, 11 for 1.
Yeah, the Women's Euros did just start. That would have been Priyanaz Chatterjee with the assist, I think. That would have been a Chatterjee, Monaghan, Chatley combo.
Oh, that was
She's gone for the little flick through the legs. Sign her up. I think England could have done with that yesterday.
Yeah, well, there's still time to make up. This summer of women's sport, this, and this was hit, crunched, and then crunch into the foot. This is when you think, thank goodness I'm wearing cricket boots rather than just trainers.
Yeah, cheeky little inside hook turn there. Lovely. Send it away. Through on goal.
The change in bowler powered by SSE Energy Solutions. Kalia Moore comes into the attack.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how Kalia Moore attacks this. She's a very natural spinner of the ball, so her line is around usually around a 4th or 5th stump line just to account for some turn. But if there isn't any on offer, then it could be a bit of a risky line to bowl. Thought about 2.
See, this is a really tricky sort of stage in play for Essex. They've obviously lost an early wicket, but they can't afford to really take time to try and build a partnership because they've not got a lot of overs and they're already behind on that run rate. The required rate now up at 10.7. They're only going at 5s. That is perfect placement from Lauren Winfield-Hill. That'll help. Along the ground again, keeps it safe, but just between those 2 fielders.
Yeah, that extra cover region again proving profitable. You're right, Georgie. It's a really they're going to have to strike a balance here between going hard and building partnerships and not losing wickets, and it's such a difficult balance to find.
Oh, that is just magnificent. The first one through the covers, this one over square leg, and back-to-back boundaries for Lauren Winfield-Hill. She moves on to 13.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Really well timed. Great execution. That head over that front knee. What's your next move, Kalia Moore? 9 so far from the over.
Full toss, sticks out of hand. 3 boundaries on the trot, turning into a very expensive over, this one. Lauren Winfield-Hill just chewing up these deliveries.
Yeah, she's tried to take a little bit off that, but I think it's just where the ball's got a little bit slippery. And that seams just slipped out of her hand and gifted a full toss. Excellent flailing attempt to try and rescue something, but unfortunately another 4.
This time doesn't quite time it. And finally, some relief that it's not gone for a boundary for Kalia Moore. But a very expensive over in the end. So 3 gone now. Essex 25 for 1. And that will bring the power play to a close. 3 over power play in this 10 over a side game. You need 5 overs to constitute a match in case it starts raining again. So power play to a close. Just 1 wicket to go down. Chatterjee picking up with her very first delivery of the day. But since then, Lauren Winfield-Hill has decided that she is going to target those boundaries, and she's peppered them, taking on Kalia Moore, finding them in the offside, the leg side, and straight as an arrow too. And now we are going to see Grace Harris into the attack. She's gone for the bowling in a cap, which some might not appreciate, but this is Grace Harris, and she does what she likes. And that's good running, really good running. She's not a long way away, and they've still managed to scamper through.
Yeah, this rain is just threatening every other ball. It gets heavier and lighter. Harris will have a job to do here off the back of that last over, just to restrict these Essex batters again.
Down on one knee this time, and it will just be one more to the total. The sun is just starting to peek through again. It's been a very strange day of weather. This is English summer for those of you tuning in across the world. Straighter this time goes Ariel, and that is going to be 4 more to Lauren Winfield-Hill, who's absolutely flying. She moves on to 23 from 11.
Yeah, this is exactly what Winfield-Hill needs to do for Essex. That gap is just closing between runs required and balls remaining, so keep an eye on that, because that is what is going to leave Essex the most amount of work to do towards the back end of this innings.
This one slightly darted in from Grace Harris and bisects the 2 fielders absolutely perfectly. 4 more. Lauren Winfield-Hill is absolutely flying here. She's just come out. She means business. She knows what she needs to target, and she's going for it.
Yeah, this is a really important phase for Essex. So obviously 5 overs to constitute a game, but with a little bit of rain around, they're going to have an eye on that DLS pass score, ball by ball. Now, at the moment, they're ahead, but it doesn't really count until that 5 overs has been bowled.
Waits on this one, and you know what? Back-to-back boundaries again in exactly the same spot for Lauren Winfield-Hill. 3 fours in a row. She's flying. She moves on to 31, and they are still ahead of that DLS.
Yeah, spinners are really now struggling. What doesn't help is boundaries and that ball going out into the wet pockets of the ground. Gripping that seems really difficult, so it's going to feel like a bar of soap in Grace Harris's hands.
This time through the covers. Alice Monaghan does well. Gets the slide in, the dive across the greasy outfield. An appreciation from the crowd. Another expensive over, 15 coming from it. So at the end of 4, Essex 40 for 1, and 32 of those coming off the bat of Lauren Winfield-Hill.
Yeah, she's come out of the gates absolutely flying today. So that's, like we said, that's exactly what they need. Maddie Penner just needs to get Lauren Winfield-Hill on strike, and she'll know it. So Surrey need to be aware of this. Moving to seam now. I think it's probably a good idea. See if we can just restrict here. Put a bit of pressure back on the Essex batters. Get Winfield-Hill off strike will be the plan.
Yeah, so Phoebe Franklin, the change in bowler powered by SSE Energy Solutions. Coming from the pavilion end in the sunshine now. Slightly shorter. She has a wild swing at this one, Lauren Winfield-Hill.
I jumped then. I didn't quite know where that had gone.
I do that when I'm, if you ever watch the Olympics and you find yourself watching sports you wouldn't normally watch. The one for me is if I watch show jumping, I find myself in my kitchen sort of jumping over things. Yes, it's a good start this from Franklin. 2 dots. Remember, every dot just slows things down. Lauren Winfield-Hill was having a field day against the spinners. I'm just trying to get a read of the pace now from Franklin. Oh, she's not read that at all. Slower from Franklin, and then she goes for the underarm. It's like she's 10-pin bowling out there.
Yeah, that was the wonder arm, wasn't it? It was a big wind-up, almost like a softball.
Oh, yeah.
Softball delivery. Delivery? What is it? Softball serve? Pitch. Pitch, thank you. This is an excellent over so far from Phoebe Franklin. It's been her day today so far.
Goes for the big swing, does Maddie Penner, not timed. Just the single. Yeah, changing to pace seems to have been the right decision here from Captain Bryony Smith.
Yeah, you can understand why she was bowling spin, just to try and control the innings and get through those overs to get 5 through. But actually, like we saw from the Essex innings, seam was really difficult to get away.
Slower again, this time up through extra cover. They're going to come back for a second easily. Kira Chatley's done well, actually, to get to that on the throw. A little wayward. But at the moment, just 4 from this over. That's what they need. Just a slow over after a couple of really big ones. Final delivery. Goes reverse this time. Doesn't make contact. Dot to finish the over. Really tidy. Phoebe Franklin's having a great day out here. 5 gone, 44 for 1, and no matter what the rain does now, we've got a game.
We do have a game, and shortly we will be able to see where, in terms of DLS par, Essex are sitting. I think they might just be behind the rate now. Remember, every wicket that Essex lose shifts that DLS par rate up. In fact, they are bang on it. So if the rain was to begin falling now and they weren't to come back out and play, Essex, as it stands, would win the game.
Change of bowler again, powered by SSE Solutions. It's now Danny Gregory on the Vauxhall end. Just be a single off the first. They won't mind this.
That's very well bowled with a wet ball, bowling leg spin. She's got a big job to play here. So 49 from 29, the gap's 20, so they're ideally they want to keep closing that gap between balls and runs required. Every ball, every delivery.
A little quicker this time. Has it bisected the two fielders? Yes, it has. We've seen a lot of runs go out there from Lauren Winfield-Hill already between the sort of deep square and the deep mid-wicket. Just hit so hard that neither fielder can get there.
Yeah, Gregory bowls with great pace as well, so that's just sat up beautifully for Winfield-Hill just to split the gap between mid-wicket and square leg. They've actually come tighter together now.
Yeah.
Square leg is just in front, bang on really.
Nice use of the feet, but again, just going to pick out Grace Harris there.
It was a very casual piece of fielding from Grace Harris. I think any ordinary person probably they would have probably just misfielded that and it would have gone for 4, but she seems to have big bucket hands that just collected that.
She now goes back out on the boundary, so a long off, and cover comes in the ring. Goes for the reverse this time, and that's really well played. Premeditated and well executed from Lauren Winfield-Hill. Essex bring up the 50, they move to 53 for 1. Lauren Winfield-Hill has got 43 of them.
Yeah, that's really well executed. Because if she misses that, that wraps that front pad, and that's hitting all 3 halfway up.
That's hit very hard. Beats the fielder at deep mid-wicket. Brings up the 50 partnership already. Winfield-Hill on to 47 from 23. She's playing a hell of a knock here, the opener.
Yeah, and if you wanted an idea of how much moisture there is on this outfield and how wet that ball is, just watch how far Phoebe Franklin slides after she passes that ball.
She slid into the next match, doesn't need to get a bus. Get a bus. It'll be just a single to finish off another fairly expensive over. 14 coming from it, and Winfield-Hill will retain strike for the beginning of the next over. She's on 48. Essex 58 for 1.
Yeah, captain and vice-captain having a chat in the middle about what the next move is. It's really hanging on a knife edge here, but Essex is slowly chipping away, well, not even slowly chipping away at that total. They need 36 from 24 balls.
Yeah, they're not chipping, they're sort of gouging, aren't they?
They are, yeah. So if they pick up a boundary every over and rotate with singles for the remainder, they're putting themselves in a very, very good position to win the game.
This is impressive as well, because obviously yesterday they had a hell of a lot of strife with their batting, did Essex. They ended up 47 for 7. They had a shortened match as well yesterday. Lots of rain around the last couple of days. But this has just been complete chalk and cheese.
Yeah, it has. It really has.
So change in ends for Chatterjee. Picked up a wicket with her first ball in her first over from the Vauxhall end, now coming from the Pavilion end. And went for just 5, so economical as well. Winfield Hill on 48. Can't get this one through.
Good, every dot here for Surrey is a win.
Sounds like we're playing junior village cricket again, isn't it? Dot ball's a hot ball, all
Dot
of those
ball's a hot
things.
ball, yeah. Wow.
What the other ones? More dots than a Dalmatian. Start drawing ladybirds. Yeah, it's just going to be a single as well. It's hit well enough out to sort of wide, long on.
Surrey, what Surrey need to recognise here as well is that a wicket changes everything. It changes everything in terms of the partnership. It obviously brings that new batter to the crease. It changes the DLS par score. They just have to keep chipping away, putting the pressure back on the batters. Dots and ones.
That's very wide outside the off stump. She's had to really feel for that, Maddie Penner, but it brings Lauren Winfield Hill back on strike, so they won't mind this, Essex, because she is doing not just the heavy lifting, but pretty much all of the lifting. 49 of the 60 have come off her bat. She's eyeing up that half century.
Yeah, she's had a few starts this season, not had any huge totals.
Lauren Winfield Hill goes aerial with this one. Grace Harris shuffles back, takes the catch, and the disappointment for Winfield Hill. Grace Harris not going to put that down, and that is just what they needed, Surrey, because Winfield Hill was taking this away from them. That's the wicket they wanted, and that could well be the moment for Surrey that really swings it back in their direction.
Yeah, that is the wicket. So that's not to say that the incoming batter isn't a threat, because Cordelia Griffiths is destructive. But this is huge. Maddie Penner hasn't got going yet. Lauren Winfield Hill doesn't quite get hold of all of that. Somehow Grace Harris manages to hold on the second attempt.
Goes down as a catch in the book either way. And Chatterjee, she's got the magic golden arm today, hasn't she?
She does. She really does. As Seam has for the majority of the day. So the next bowling change Bryony Smith makes is going to be key here, along with the next 2 deliveries.
Again wide, and has a feel for that. Feel the hell of an effort to try and get there. 4 off her first ball. Cordelia Griffiths just picking up exactly where Lauren Winfield Hill left off.
Yeah, too much width on offer there. Plays it late, beats backward point. Not even back, well, yes, backward point. Picks up 4. 30 from 19.
It's a face that means business there from Cordelia Griffith. And straighter this time, nicely nurdled away. They're going to come back for a second. No, good decision. The communication decided against coming back for a second. That's what Surrey needed early on.
Yeah, Cordelia Griffiths is a run-out candidate, I will say.
Chatterjee finishes with 2 for 12 from her 2 overs, so she's done for today. Shortened match, remember, bowlers can bowl a maximum of 2. We had a 3-over power play. And the latest wicket to fall there, Lauren Winfield Hill. So 3 overs still to come. Essex require 29. And Lauren Winfield Hill there, just missing out on that half century, holding out on 49, but she was in fine form, the opener. Never really took any time to get going, and just took on the spinners, dispatching them. 3 boundaries in a row against Kalia Moore. This one of the best of the lot, straight back past the bowler. Just sending it to all parts. They had no answer for her, and in the end just didn't quite get enough on it. So Bryony Smith to continue. her second of the day. There's a misfield there from Chatterjee. You don't want these to start creeping into the game because that's 2 runs and it should have been a dot.
Replay that Chatterjee won't want to be watching on the big screen.
She gets the opportunity this time and does field cleanly and picks the right end, actually. It's good running between these two. So 26 needed from 16, that equation.
Yeah, Smith is just trying to tighten up this Essex attack here, just by restricting any width coming round. Effective so far. I do think spin has been the easier of the two to play today. I think most scoring runs, most runs have been scored from spin for both teams. I'd like to see Phoebe Franklin back into the attack potentially next over.
A little bit of extra flight from Smith, and again just sort of a toe end from Cordelia Griffith.
Yeah, the change of angle's definitely been more effective this over, hasn't it?
Moves Essex on to 70. This is what you want if you can get through an over without a boundary. Moves very, very early, does Maddie Penner, and again, not quite timed it, so deep mid-wicket can cut it off this time. Just another single to the total.
Yeah, and what Essex are going to have to be aware of here is what are they most comfortable with chasing off of the final 12 balls. So how many runs do they think they can comfortably get with 12 balls remaining? And Surrey will be thinking the same.
Uses the feet and goes aerial again this time. Finds the gap between long on and deep mid-wicket. 4 more to the total and a blemish on the end of a tidy over. Smith finishes her 2 with none for 15. It's 75 for 2.
Yeah, they've managed to actually hover around that rate. 9 and over. So 9.5 required off of this over, which obviously can't happen. So it's either going to have to be above it and leave yourself a little bit more of a cushion to pick up the winning runs in the end, or leave all the work to do. And we do see Phoebe Franklin.
Yeah, this is the important over, this one. This is moving day. Make or break, all of the cliches. Phoebe Franklin went for just 4 from her first over. Maddie Penner's got a hold of that. She's hit that hard and she picks up 4 off the first ball. Smacked past deep mid-wicket.
Yeah, that is how not to start the first ball of the penultimate over, with short and wide.
Yeah, Penner's going to chew that up all day long. That's a Sunday roast. That's the appetizer, perhaps. The Yorkshire puddings, bit of extra gravy on it. This time Fuller. I'm not sure if that was a bump ball up to Grace Harris.
But it was a dot.
Crucially, yes. And really good work, actually, by Kira Chatley as well, sprinting up to back up. Penner, sometimes it's going your way, and that seems to be the thing for Essex now. She has a wild flay, finds the edge, and adds 4 more to the total. And sometimes there's just nothing you can do about it as a bowler. Not where she was intending to hit it at all. Got it fine enough.
Yeah, sometimes you've just got to shrug your shoulders and say, oh, I can't put a fielder there. Penner arriving at the party.
Waits nicely, deep extra out on the boundary. Cordelia Griffiths tries to come through for a second and sent back very quickly by Maddie Penner. Talk about just losing your head for a moment.
Yeah, this is where you've got to stay calm. There's a lot of chaos probably going on in the brains of both these batters, thinking we want to get this done and we want to do it quickly. It's finding the calm in the chaos.
Again, not quite timed by Griffith. One more to the total. So now 10 off this over. You said 9.5 was what they needed to go out and over. They're ahead of it now. Another delivery to come. Penner on strike, 21 from 17. 9 runs needed to win from 7 deliveries. And that's really well struck. That's almost taken out the umpire. Phoebe Franklin for a moment thought she might be able to get a hand to it as well.
Well, I think she does, and actually I think that saves the boundary because she's hit that so hard. I think that was going gun barrel straight for the boundary. Whether Alice Davidson-Richards would have been able to get round and cut it off. But an excellent piece of fielding off her own bowling.
Yeah, frustration on the face of Franklin. She finishes her 2 overs. 2 overs, 15 runs, no wickets. So now the final over is being charged to Grace Harris, it looks like, still with that hat on. Had a fairly expensive first over, went for 15 from her first, but she's a consummate professional. Been around the game long enough, played all over the world. She knows how to hold her nerve in pressure situations. 8 runs needed from this over for Essex to win and fight back after a hefty loss yesterday. And that has gone very high. Fielder coming in at deep mid-wicket, takes the catch. Grace Harris does it again. She gets the breakthrough. The Aussie gets the Aussie and sends Maddie Penner on her way.
Yeah, Phoebe Franklin couldn't hold on to the catch of her own bowling, but instead takes the catch from Grace Harris, sends Maddie Penner back to the pavilion.
There's always another twist in the tail when it comes to cricket.
Yeah, at the start we said don't look away, and this is exactly why. 8 required from 5 deliveries, brings Jo Gardner to the crease, who's more than capable of not only clearing the ropes but hitting it out of the ground. So what's your next move, Grace Harris?
8 now needed from 5. So quick between the wickets, both these two.
The stress on display from Penner. The minute that left her bat, she knew that she'd not got all of it and that she was going to be making her way back to the pavilion.
It's pulled away nicely, hit hard. 4 for Jo Gardner. First ball, stand, deliver, dispatched. Now it's 4 needed from the last 4. Could do this in 1.
Yeah, that's timed to perfection from Jo Gardner. Just hops outside of off, down on one knee, sweeps and finds the gap perfectly between mid-wicket and long on. That forces Grace Harris to put a mid-wicket in and leave a nice big gap on the offside.
So 4 needed to win. Jo Gardner facing up. This time again, pulled away. Got to be quick here to take on the arm. Good running. Direct hit, and she was well on her way.
Yeah, Emily Burke, the fielder at mid-wicket. Surrey Academy graduate, just offered her first professional contract. Doing the business in the ring there.
Here comes Harris. Griffith comes shuffling down the pitch. Kira Chatley makes no mistake. Cordelia Griffith ends up on her bum, and she now ends up on her way. It's also a dot ball, and we are going right down to the wire here at the Kia Oval.
I can't cope. That was fantastic. That's called holding your nerve. Well done, Kira Chatley, well gathered. Saw Cordelia Griffiths coming down the wicket and throws it a little bit wider, a little bit quicker. And off Cordelia Griffiths goes. She's tried to smack the leather off of that, and it's carried on pulling her out of the crease and down the wicket, and all Chatley needs to do is take and break. Sophia Smale comes to the crease.
Took a couple of good catches today, did Sophia Smale. She's now got Grace Harris to deal with, and you need 3 runs from the last 2. Just rocks back in her crease there, and that will just be 1. So Jo Gardner, it all comes down to what she can do against Grace Harris. Gardner versus Harris, the final delivery. 2 runs needed to win, 1 run for a tie.
So if there's a tie, they split the points.
Yeah,
super over.
After 30 overs we've seen today, it now comes down to the very last ball. We've had rain, we've had wickets tumbling, we've had many run-outs from Surrey, but none of that matters now. All that matters is what Grace Harris can do and what Jo Gardner can do. 2 runs needed to win, 1 for a tie and to split the points. The Australian international to the Northampton born and bred Jo Gardner.
Neither team will be happy with a tie. It's a dot or it's 2.
Gardner has a big swing at this one. They're going to have to come back for a second. The throw is coming in. Jo Gardner very slow to head off, and she's gone. She is gone. What a finish. It is a tie here at the Kia Oval. Incredible scenes. What a match we've seen in the end. The points will be split. They had to come back for the second run. She just hit it too square to the fielder in the end. But what a match we have seen. It's ebbed and flowed. We've had a bit of everything. She'll be thinking maybe 4 inches further to the left and I would have got it. And for Grace Harris, well, she held her nerve in that final over. Disappointment for Jo Gardner, you can see it. She thought she could have brought them home there. But what a finish we've had here, Kirstie. Are you okay? How are your nerves?
Well, neither team wanted a tie, but the way that Surrey celebrated that, they were more than happy, and I think that is just credit to how well Essex played today, with bat and with ball in hand. I can't help but feel for Jo Gardner. She seems to be in this position a lot versus Surrey. In the 50-over competition, she almost got her side across the line and ran out of batting partners towards the end. And again today, she just couldn't quite get her team across the line. But wow, what a game.
It's been incredible. We had that rain break obviously in the middle, and we wondered if we'd get back out there, how long we might get, if it was going to rain again. But then we have seen quite some cricket. You see how quickly Sophia Smale set off and was back. Jo Gardner a little bit slow on the turn perhaps, and the full dive, arms stretched out. She almost got too much on this, and it was hit too well that it went straight to the fielder in the end, but trying to scamper back. And well gathered again by Kira Chatley. And you can see Surrey it looked like you would have thought they'd won it. If you were just watching these scenes, you'd think Surrey have won the FA Cup.
Well, I actually had to check the scoreboard because the celebration from the Surrey players, I genuinely thought, hang on, have I missed something? Did they win? So
I also thought the same. And
yeah.
Luckily I had assistance to my right.
Yeah.
The big T came up and I was like, okay,
yeah,
that's what I thought.
Yeah, and I think if you watch how quickly Sophia Smale set off, I almost wonder if there was an opportunity for Grace Harris to pull out the man-cad, because she was halfway down the track before she'd even made her approach to the crease, I think. So, yeah, Smale, there was no other option than running the 2.
And there's the confirmation, tied match. So sorry, 159 for 5 from there, 20 overs. We then had the rain and the adjustment, so 93 for 5. And we're going to head on downstairs and we're going to hear from Phoebe Franklin. Top scoring there, Phoebe Franklin, unbeaten 48 from 23 back-to-back boundaries in that final over, huge big over, and Chatley, she was the glue, held it together with 44. And the wickets shared around amongst the Essex bowlers, and then coming out to chase with just 10 overs, Lauren Winfield-Hill absolutely flying out of the traps. She went eventually hold out on 49. It looked like she was going to see them home for this game, but Chatterjee, big shout out to her, 2 for 12 from her too, and Grace Harris holding her nerve to bowl that final over and managed to keep it to a tie in the end. But it has been quite some game. But there is the summary that it is tied between Surrey and Essex here at the Kia Oval. That means the points will be shared. And the good news is that that's not the end of the cricket here, obviously, today at the Kia Oval. The men's will be up in the not too distant future, actually, as Shakira reverberates around the Kia Oval. I want to give a shout out to the DJ as well as the players today. So Phoebe Franklin top scoring 48, really well done. But in the end, it is a tied match between Surrey and Essex in a rain-affected game, the 10-over chase. They finished 93 for 5 from their 10 overs, Essex. It's a tie, and we're going to head on downstairs to hear from Phoebe Franklin.
Well, having just got my breath back after that incredible finish, I am with Phoebe Franklin, who of course earlier on scored that fantastic 48 from 23 balls. Phoebe, I don't really know whether we should be pleased or disappointed with that tie. Where does your opinion lie on that?
I think over that last couple of overs, I think we're pretty happy with the tie there. Tried to be a bit more aggressive and stop that single, but I think we'd be happy with the tie, yeah.
Yeah, and it looked like after getting Winfield Hill out that the team really dragged things back. At one stage it looked like they were going to maybe get there easily, so you must be really pleased firstly with how you bowled and then the other guys as well who managed to keep it really tight.
Yeah, after Winfield Hill got out, we thought we were definitely in the game. She is a very dangerous player, but they obviously do have some firepower in their batting lineup, so taking regular wickets is what we tried to do and trying to keep that run rate climbing as much as we could.
There isn't much time for talking and thinking in between overs, but what was Bryony's messaging out there when things were getting tight?
Just committing in the field, because we know as soon as it's through the ring, that could be a boundaries, and that was the difference in the game as well. And yeah, just trying to keep energy as high as possible. Bowlers were clear and fields were backing them up.
Going back to the batting innings, firstly, well batted. You came in when things were looking tricky. What was your mindset going out there?
Just to play my game. I'm quite strong on the sweep, so I knew that was definitely on. Kira was out there for a while, and her knowledge of what the bowlers were doing definitely helped me out with what my game plan as well was.
And a word for Kira, really mature innings from her.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like in T20s you want to score quickly, but sometimes being an anchor like that really sets someone like me to be able to come up and be a bit more aggressive at the end.
And at that halfway point, obviously we then lost those overs. With that DLS revised targets, did you feel that that was a defendable target in the end?
Yeah, I think so. 95 in 10 overs was definitely defendable. As long as that we didn't let the run rate get too low, keep it climbing, then we definitely backed ourselves to defend that.
Yeah, and we very almost did. A great effort indeed, and a great game of cricket. Thanks so much for playing such a big part in that.
Thank you very much.